What is, what was, and what will be start here with the words, in the beginning there was...
Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Bearded Game Masters. As always, my name is Ron, and I am joined with Mike. Sorry.
Hello, I'm still here.
And today we've got some fun little things that we've gathered up through since our previous episode till now. So I guess I'm going to start probably with one of the funnier things, not the funniest thing that we have, I think, but definitely one of the more lighter-hearted.
Oh, yeah.
So anyone who has purchased the Stanley Parable from launch to now can finally earn the last achievement on there, unless you cheated like some people I know.
What are you looking at me for?
Looking at you.
No.
You can finally actually and truthfully earn the Go Outside achievement. That unlocked not too long ago, and just in case if anyone like me doesn't know what the hell that is, the creator Stanley Parable put a fun little achievement in his game where you couldn't open it for 5 years. Like nope. you basically you bought it and you didn't touch it for 5 years.
Yep.
And then once it hit that 5-year mark, you got an achievement for not playing the game. So I thought that was kind of funny. That one came out, so people who don't have that, by all means, now you can go for it. So from there, they're actually this makes me happy just because I'm kind of fanboying over this. I don't know about you, Mike, but I think this is really cool. Switch, the Switch sales have passed. I believe it's over 22 million now. So,
did you get your Switch yet, Ron?
I mean, I had my Switch at launch because I like Nintendo. Did you get a Switch yet?
I have car payments.
Well, I mean, don't we all? Adulting is a hell of a thing. But, I mean, I still think you need to, switch. Did you see what I did there?
Switch to what?
Switch. No, okay.
No.
Okay, it was funnier to me. All right, I don't. But, yeah, so that is a good note for anyone who enjoys their Switch system.
It's good also because this way we know for certain that Nintendo is alive and strong still.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my for some reason now everything like on my desk is falling over, and it's just not cool. Sorry about that. Now there is something here that I find a little interesting, and you know what, Mike? I want you to take this one. I want you to fill me in on this because you know this a little bit better than I do. Well,
I have good news and bad news for fans of the Alien franchise.
Okay.
Alien Isolation, I think, by all means, has probably been one of the, if not the successful Alien universe games. Would you agree?
Isolation? Definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. And, we've been crying for a sequel for some time. And, well, Ron, I got good news and bad news for you.
Okay.
Good news is we are getting a sequel. We are going to see a continuation of the Amanda Ripley storyline.
Okay.
Bad news, it's in a comic book.
Wait.
Well, for people who actually want to play a game.
So, wait, hold on a second. Just to make sure I'm on the same page here. So we are getting a continuation of it, but it's not a game or anything.
No.
It's going to be a comic book.
Right. It's going to be called, let's see here. It will be called Aliens Resistance. And it's a sequel to two different things. It's a sequel to Alien Isolation, where I'll have Amanda Ripley. It's also a sequel to another Aliens comic called Aliens Defiance. And it's going to team up a character named Zula from that comic with Amanda Ripley. And
interesting.
Yeah, so it's still going to take place before the movie Aliens, obviously. But it's it's not what we expected.
Most definitely not.
Yeah, Sega has. I mean, despite the strong sale numbers, it wasn't enough for Sega, and since Isolation, Sega hasn't really touched the Alien franchise at all. And in a bit of news, late to the Johnny Come Lately news, Fox did actually drop Sega as a publisher for their games, and have actually brought Alien back into the to what its in-house publisher called Fox Next. And Fox has intended to make a persistent universe, kind of like a pre-Disney Star Wars, where they're going to finally lay the law down on the franchise universe. Which I think it's nice. I mean, Alien has always been haphazard, and it's never been really set in stone. But there is a game coming out, by the way. We don't know anything about it. It's probably going to be a shooter, but Cold Iron Studios is said to be making this game, so I'm looking forward to that. So
interesting. So, I mean, I always enjoyed the Alien Isolation game. Actually, it's one of the few games that I bought and I made sure I kept, since I originally purchased it.
But we can't finish it.
No. I'm too much of a pansy sometimes.
No, I freely admit it myself. I can't finish that game.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely it gets to you.
I enjoyed it, and I will buy the sequel.
I actually have two copies of it now that I think about it. I have one on PC and then one on my PS4. I enjoy it. Now hearing that they're going to continue on with the story and they're going to give it some, to flesh it out some more, that makes me happy. Yeah. I mean, all right, it's not a game. They're going to do a comic, or a comic series, or comic, whatever, however they're going to do it. I mean, that could be pretty interesting because they can get away with doing, a lot of different things that they might not have. 6 issues?
Yeah, it's going to come in late January 2019.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm going to be optimistic here. See what they do.
And I'm glad it's Dark Horse and not like Marvel or somebody like that. I'm glad Dark Horse still is able to do Aliens after I don't know if it's been finished or closed now, because I know Disney won the bid for the Fox 21st Century Fox and all the IPs to go with it. So I'm glad, because I'm looking at some of the art, the promo art for the comic, and it's just exactly what I want to see in an Alien comic. Very, dark, very dark and very gritty, and light. I wouldn't say light on the colors, but it's Dark Horse is really good with the watercoloring, and kind of like giving a monotone color, because it's. I don't know. It just works great with that universe.
Okay.
So,
well, like I said, I'll be optimistic on this. Yep. And fingers crossed that it's pretty enjoyable read. Have they said who's outside of it being on Dark Horse, who's gonna write it or anything like that?
I actually have a name here.
Okay.
Give me a second here. I have to go through it.
Sure.
Brian Wood and artist Robert Corey. I'm sorry if I butchered the name.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not particularly familiar with either of those two, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Do we know anybody who might know those kind of artists?
Now that you mention that, that sounds like it's a plug that's coming on here. Just want to get this out there too, while it's fresh in my mind, and we're talking about comics and all that fun stuff, and it's a great segue into it. I had the opportunity to sit down with one of the guys from over at Pen and Panel Podcast. Had the chance to sit down, do an episode with them talking about the newest Spider-Man game that came out on PS4, and our thoughts on that, as well as kind of going over a few of our more favorite or least favorite Spider-Man games that have come out over the years. Definitely, anyone who's listening, if you get the chance, go over, check out their other episodes. They are two big old nerds who love comic books and sure as hell know what they're talking about. I'm fairly confident, mentioning these these names here for the Alien Isolation comic, they know exactly who that is, what they've done, and how long they've been doing it, and all that other fun stuff. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't gotten the chance to listen to any of their previous episodes, definitely some really nice guys, know what they're talking about. Fun to talk comic books with if you would enjoy that form of entertainment. Definitely go check them out. Once last time, Pen and Panel Podcast.
It's a very unappreciated medium these days.
You know what, to be honest with you, it really is. And I'll be the first to admit, like, for the longest time, I just was like, when I was really young, I was into comics, collected a whole bunch. And then as I got older, I kind of I grew out of it, for a long
when
time.
Little Ronnie had a Super Nintendo controller in his hand, it was the end of an era. Kind of.
But then, within the last couple of years, I've fallen, back into the comic book scene. Maybe not as hard as these guys here, but I'll definitely pick up plenty of different books, read them, enjoy them, follow them. I have a pull list, all that fun stuff.
I really like it when you get old comics and they're redone on a nice hardcover book. Something that it's not going to wear and tear over time. You have to keep in the sleeve all the time, You can put on the shelf and you put in the shelf and you can appreciate that you have it.
I get you there. Yeah, there's, I understand your desire and like of those. I mean, personally, I've always been a bit of a fan of actually having the original, but I mean, that's just me.
Go like finding Captain America #1.
Funny story about that one, actually. I remember my dad telling me this one, like when I was younger, but he, my dad used to collect comic books, growing up and whatnot. And I guess,
his mom threw it away too.
Yeah, pretty much. And long story short, my father
had the same story. Yeah.
Yeah. He had a whole bunch of them. Yep. When he moved out after, X amount of time and not living at home, his mom went in and cleaned everything out, and she threw away all of his comic books. And from if memory serves me correct, he had the first Captain America, and I think he had the first Superman. I think. Now, that one I'm a little fuzzy on, but I remember him telling me about the Captain America just because, I was young, but still knew, like, hey, that's worth something. Like, oh, that sucks,
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless, that's something that happened to my dad.
A lot of our dads had that problem.
Shake my fist at that one, because that's just a nice little mint if you had.
Oh, yeah.
But, anyway, to continue on here with what we've got.
We digress.
So, just in case, if anyone out there enjoys collecting the new fad, if you will, for gaming, which is the all mini systems.
Yep.
First it was the SNES, or no, the NES Mini, then the SNES Mini, and then now PlayStation has their own little mini coming out, and I believe Sega's got another one coming out, and then
Sega's
there's
done
the
a terrible
N60
job with their Genesis.
Oh, they're awful. Oh, they're awful. Absolutely
they
awful.
need to do it in-house. They can't keep giving this to third parties that just screw it up.
The thing about it is, it's the same third party. I cannot remember the name of the company, but if anyone out there, I enjoy collecting those things, when I get the chance to, and I have, a couple bucks to spend, it's a great little thing to have, especially like in my particular case, I have the SNES Mini.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games in there, Mario 60, or not Mario 64, Super Mario RPG. Love that game. It's a lot of fun to play. It's also really damn expensive if you want to own a physical copy of it.
Yeah, this day and age, yes.
Yeah. And I'm a collector, and that's just a little bit more than what I'm willing to pay right now because I'm cheap. But regardless, anyway, it's a great way to get your hands on stuff.
Another one expensive. It's hard to get.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sega, I don't remember the name of the company that Sega uses, but it's they use the same one, and every single one they release is just god awful. So don't bother with the current Sega ones that are coming out, or that are out. And I do believe too that there's an N64 Mini coming out, but that's rumored, and then maybe not rumored. And I've heard
Game
all
Boy.
different.
I think Game Boy would be more that if Nintendo would do a classic Game Boy that's portable with the same kind of LCD screen, that will sell like hotcakes.
I mean, all they got to do is just put it on. I hate to say it like this, but put it on the Switch.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I mean, I kind of got off topic there, but
this is
So the current one,
Classic.
yep, the PlayStation Mini, it's $100, which is already starting a little bit higher than the Nintendo ones, which the SNES is what, 70, and the NES was 60. Yeah, right. So just in case, I granted if you haven't seen them, but it's all over the place. I have a little bit of the game lineup here that I wanna go over here and kind of give my thoughts.
I've I know I'm sure I've mentioned this before on the show. I never had a PlayStation, so
you know what? I'm gonna be. I'm serious. Like you missed out. Like to me, like in my opinion, that was like the renaissance of gaming, because there were just. It was like right at that cusp where there were still, excuse me, it was before everything was fully 3D.
Right.
And like you still had plenty of games that were like in the old sprites, and then ones that were like, no, we're going to go, 3D because that's the new thing. And, you had games that were like the mix.
Yeah, and I mentioned like at the time I had a PC, and the 3D done on the PC was just a lot better. You didn't have the warping that you had with a lot of these games on the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 for that matter. So I kind of skipped that generation. I felt it was too soon.
No, I mean,
it was the next generation where I felt 3D was finally better on a console. But neither here nor there.
Yeah, give it time for that one to come out, because it will.
Oh yeah.
But so basically, here's what they've announced is going to be on there, and I believe this is it. This is finally, this is what they said they're doing, and that's it, all said and done.
Yep.
So we've got Battle Arena Toshiden. I don't know how it's pronounced. I never actually played it, but I know it's a fighting game with weapons. Cool. Speaking of cool, then we've got Cool Borders 2,
I saw that.
which, snowboarding game, actually kind of really fun. I always had a lot of fun with them. Think like, what is it, 1080 snowboarding, but not as cool as what 1080 was, or at least what I remember 1080 being.
After GoldenEye, I think that's what sold Nintendo 64 games.
Well, I mean, it definitely helped. Yeah. It definitely helped. So from there, we've got Destruction Derby. I mean, it sounds self-explanatory, but I've never played it. We have one of my personal favorite RPGs, if not probably my most favorite RPG, Final Fantasy VII. the original Grand Theft Auto, which kind of surprises me, but hey, all right.
Is this the same one that was on the computer, like it was top down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll play that. Now, here's one. This next one I'm going to mention is like, I don't remember there being a lot of people talking about it, but I remember like when I sat down and I played it, I freaking loved this game. It was just a nice little puzzle game, no rushing, no nothing like that, no craziness, but it was just like something you could really just sit down and like really just, if you wanted to, really make your brain work, It's called Intelligent Cube, or IQ is what their little, name for it was too, the nickname for it. Like I said, it was a puzzle game. I loved it. I don't remember there being a lot of people talking about it at the time, but then I still don't recall many people talking about puzzle games. But definitely, if you enjoy that style of game, it's very much worth it.
Well, in Japan, it sold over 500,000 copies. It was considered a success over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So then that probably means it did awful in the States.
Probably, because it's very few puzzle games make a good transition.
Yeah.
Not saying all of them, but, there's a lot of puzzle games make it, but there's a lot of puzzle games that don't.
Yeah. So we've also got Jumping Flash, which I've seen pictures of, but I've never played it, so I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you like how it's a great game or it's garbage or anything like that. I really don't know anything about that one to talk about. But we've got Metal Gear Solid, which, I mean, it's a Metal Gear game, so it's fun, but it's Metal Gear Solid, which was, oh my God, argue. No, not even going to try to. I'm tired. It's a good one. It's a good game. It's fun. All right.
Definitely the beginning of a good story-driven.
It's the beginning of a story-driven game that makes you go WTF, mate. Because there's a lot of things in that game that are or I'm sorry, not in that, well, in that game, but in that series that just kind of makes you scratch your head and whatnot. But I will say this, Metal Gear Solid definitely had probably one of the most interesting boss fights ever. At least on a PlayStation console, because it would read your memory card and turn your controller off so you could purposely lose against him. I mean, like, the only way you could beat this specific boss when you fought him was by unplugging your controller and plugging it into the Player 2 port. And, like, he would read your memory card and, like, you know, if you played, I think, what was it? Like, if you had played Castlevania Symphony of the Night or something like that, he would he would make reference to you liking Castlevania, you know, during your fight with him or whatnot. Yeah, Psycho Mantis. He was at the time, he was a really cool boss fight, and it was really different. You know, there wasn't really anything like that.
X-Men on the Genesis did something similar. You physically had to get up and reset the system to beat the boss or something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
And if you had like a third gen Genesis, which didn't have that reset button, you couldn't play the game. That's as far as you could get.
Oh, that's kind of a poor design, I think, if you do it like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
yeah,
well, that's something we'll have to go back on. So from there, we've got a game called Mr. Driller, which I don't know what that is. I have no idea what the hell Mr. Driller is. It sounds like a Dig Dug reference.
Yeah, it's exactly. Dig Dug.
Yep. So let's skip over that because I know nothing about that one. And we're going to go right into Oddworld's Abe's Odyssey, an absolutely amazing platformer. I love this series,
it's
and
on
I would
PC
love
too,
to see
I have played
more.
a little bit of it, so it's a good game.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's definitely one of those ones, like I said, I wish they would do more with, but I just, you know, there was
a remake.
Well, the thing is there was a Redux, I believe. They polished it up so it could run on, you know, current systems and whatnot.
Good Old Games has that, I think.
Yeah, you know, I liked it. I would love to see more of it. The world it designed and they came up with was a lot of fun. I would just like to see more of it. Give me more of it, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
So we've also got Rayman, which is also another very fun platforming game that actually is still relevant to this day. Like Ubisoft still pumps out Rayman games, which I'm cool with.
Yeah.
We've got Resident Evil Director's Cut.
Never heard of it.
No.
No, skip that one.
Here's where, like, I wish they wouldn't have put the Director's Cut and just would have put the regular one in.
Yeah.
Like, the Director's Cut one is cool and all that stuff, but the audio in that game and the music is awful. Absolutely awful. But, I mean, hey, you're getting a Resident Evil game on it. You've got Revelations Persona. I've played Persona games, but this particular one I've never touched, so I am awful at it, but I can tell you that it's JRPG, so that's cool. We've got Ridge Racer Type 4. This one I did play. I was psyched for this when this one came out, and I'm not even that big of a racing gamer, but it was fun. It was one of the few racing games that I actually really enjoyed. So we've got Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, which is a bit of a mouthful to say, but it's a puzzle game with
sure
little
made by
Street Fighter
Capcom?
chibis. You know what? I don't know. Maybe, because that sounds like a Capcom name.
For a second, I'm reading. It says, "Oh, it's Street Fighter." Wait, it's not Street Fighter. What?
No, but I do believe they actually put like Ken and Ryu in it. You know, like little chibi ones, because the characters you would have puzzles where you'd have to match colors and stuff like that, and little characters would fight with each other and do moves when you'd match what you needed to. It was fun. Speaking of fun, we've got Siphon Filter, which is, I guess, kind of sort of what this game is. I definitely remember, I remember when it came out, I remember playing it and enjoying it, but then also I remember a couple of years back, getting my hands on a copy of it and sitting down and playing it just because of, nostalgia goggles, and God, was it awful. But it was rough. So we'll see here. But definitely, if you like the Tom Clancy games, this is the first one of that series, which has, oh my God, what is that character's name? You know what? I'm not even going to sit here and try to remember his name, but it basically, if you like Tom Clancy games, this is fun.
Not Jack Ryan.
Oh wait, no, not Jack Ryan. I'm getting ahead of myself when I'm talking about Tom Clancy games, but Siphon Filter is definitely in that theme, if you will.
Okay.
If you like the government espionage, it's fun. Since I was talking about Tom Clancy, I'm going to kind of do this in a little bit of reverse. They are putting Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
That was the thing back in the day.
It was. That game was a lot of fun back in the day, and I still have a special place in my heart for it. So there's the Tom Clancy game that I was talking about when I'm actually talking about Siphon Filter, but thinking of Tom Clancy. Well, when I at least trying to remember bits and pieces of the game. Siphon Filter was still pretty bad when I played it recently. But, you know, they had Tom Clancy Rainbow Six on there. That was in the fun series. We've also got Tekken 3. I spent a ludicrous amount of hours playing Tekken 3, either by myself or constantly going back and forth and fighting my brother. Definitely out of the original series, what am I saying? The original 3, this is my go-to one. I enjoyed it. They have a lot of different characters. The fighting was, at the time, very polished. The story was wonky, but also fun. You know, I'm glad to see they actually have some pretty, at least a fighting game on here. We've got Twisted Metal, the first Twisted Metal, which that makes me very happy to see that they're putting that on there. And then lastly, Wild Arms. This, I was actually a bit surprised about seeing this particular RPG on there. But as a whole, for all of the, you know, their lineup on here, meh.
Yeah.
I'm actually, there's
titles that I've at least heard about that I would expect to see on this thing.
Yes, like the ones that like here's for me, like here's the ones that like I'm happy but not necessarily excited, or not excited, happy but not surprised to see on this system, which is Final Fantasy VII,
Right.
Rayman and Oddworld, and
Metal Gear.
No, actually, I'm a little bit surprised about
Really?
that one. Yeah, and Twisted Metal. Like those ones, I was, you know, like, all right, that's cool, but I'm not blown away by seeing these on there. I kind of expected them.
I mean, I saw Final Fantasy, so where's Tomb Raider?
There isn't.
Yeah.
Here's like, and this is what I'm gonna get at. What I was getting at is like the lineup on here. Like it's not bad. Like there's definitely some good games on here that.
Banjo-Kazooie?
You know, yes.
Banjo-Kazooie was on the PlayStation?
That was Nintendo, buddy.
Oh, okay.
No, that was
right.
That was Nintendo.
But they had a copy, port over here.
All right, let's look at this. If you were to go out and actually buy physical copies of, if you were just to go buy Wild Arms by itself, you're spending about $100, close to, depending on where you get it from. Like, there's stuff on here that is definitely makes it worth it. Depending on, you know, like, okay, let me try this again. I like RPGs.
Yeah.
So for me, Wild Arms alone is almost worth getting this again. I would say, you know, Final Fantasy VII, but I already have it on like everything that I own. I don't think I need
another one.
You know, another PlayStation with a copy of Final Fantasy VII. But Cool Borders 2 makes me happy. Oddworld definitely makes me happy. Resident Evil Director's Cut. I don't really like the Director's Cut.
Yeah.
I like the original one more. But I mean, hey, you know what? I am surprised about seeing. Like, I'm surprised to see a Resident Evil on here, as well as actually a Grand Theft Auto. Not that I want it, but I'm surprised to see it on there. That's definitely one I wasn't expecting.
Right.
Basically, do I think it's worth the asking price of $100? I would say like probably $70 to $80 is what I would think.
Crash
but that's just
Bandicoot.
me being a little.
I realize they don't have Crash Bandicoot.
They don't have it. Nope, they don't have an original
Or
Crash
Spyro.
Bandicoot, and honestly, or Spyro, but also they're re-releasing those. That's probably
And
why
Tony
I'm thinking
Hawk.
you wouldn't see. Oh, the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, any of one of them.
Actually, well, you know what? Now, see, here's the thing, though, because when you have the Tony Hawk games, they had a pretty awesome soundtrack of like just various different bands on there. So
that's
then,
probably it.
you know, that's probably why you're not seeing them, because now they're having to pay for royalties on all of those songs,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of songs
Yeah.
on there.
Now the Japanese version is going to get 2 additional games:
What's that?
Parasite Eve and
Oh,
Saga Frontier. are going to be in the Japanese.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Ars Technica has this. Square Enix is going to allow those two on the Japanese one.
Okay, so there's my F-bomb on this, and that's probably going to be the only time I'm going to do it on this. But nope, I lied. Are you really fucking kidding me?
No.
Wait a second. Okay, hold on. They're getting Saga Frontier, which I've played, and it's definitely not Squaresoft's A-list game or A-list RPG, but I mean, I really liked it. And then what was the other one? One more time?
Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve? You said Parasite Eve.
I said Parasite Eve, yes. They're getting those.
Okay, just to put this out there, Parasite Eve came out not long after oh my god, I'm a little fuzzy on here, so please don't kill me when I say this, but I think it was around the time of Resident Evil 2, like after that had come out, and it's an RPG, but it's like a horror RPG where the main character, this blonde lady whom name I don't remember, has these powers and she fights monsters and stuff like that. And I'm giving a very generic explanation of this game because it's been so long that I don't remember much about it. But they're really like, oh man, see that's the thing is like, that's what sucks. Now, if you were to tell me they were selling that exact one here in the States for that same price, okay, now it's not bad. Because now you're offering me just a little bit more, which is great, but you're also offering stuff that as a collector is very hard to find.
Right.
Like, I don't really see copies of Wild Arms openly, for sale anywhere. I have seen maybe one copy of Parasite Eve, and the guy's never gotten back to me when I said I wanted to buy it. And Saga Frontier, like, I actually haven't played that since it had come out. So just on those 3 titles alone, like, I would love to get my hands on it. But unfortunately, screw the people in the States that like these titles. You don't get them.
PlayStation Classic will also ship with 2 Ark the Lad RPGs.
You keep telling me this. I'm gonna drive to your house. I'm gonna beat you, boy. No, not really. But that's
Sony.
Wait, Ark the Lad too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the better choice.
Now, I mean, there might be a ray of hope. I mean, we don't know what kind of. Well, I mean, this is Sony we're talking about, and you know how anal they are about people changing their hardware. We don't know if the Classic is going to be any more editable than the Nintendo ones. So there might be a chance that if you're a little geeky and a nerdy, you might be able to swap some games into this. So you might.
Yeah, but I mean, there's people that are gonna. If that's the case, there's gonna be people that can just be like, all right, hey, put these. Here's this. Hook this up to your PC. Do this, and boom, now you have all these games on there. Which, I mean, how do I word this? I think that's dumb. If I want to play these games, now I have to do this.
Right. Welcome to the world of PCs, where we have to actually mod our games so they don't crash all the time.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It's just a little aggravating because now. Yep. I think we all are. So, all right. The long and short of it is, the mini's coming out somewhat soon, I believe. They want $100. I think that's a little much for what they're asking because there's stuff on here that I really don't care for. That's just my opinion. I'd love to know yours. See, if there are people that are excited or know what the hell a Mr. Driller is, or have fond memories of Jumping Flash. I, on the other hand, probably won't get this. As much as I'd like to, put it this way: if it's a gift, I'll take it because I want to play Wild Arms. But I'm not going to spend $100 to have another PlayStation. That's just me, whatever. Now, granted, if I, lived in Japan and I was getting all the cool games, Japan, you're getting all the cool stuff, then that might be a different story. But before I sit there and probably either A, make more of an ass out of myself, or B, get myself more angry about thinking about how I'm not getting the stuff that I'd like to on the product that I'd like to get, but I won't because they want too much money for it. So... yeah. There was a thing this weekend, I think. Was there a thing this weekend, Mike?
Oh, somebody was talking about something about games they were making, but I don't know. I'm pretty clueless about that.
I know there was a thing. I mean, man,
Yeah.
if it wasn't so cold in here, like a blizzard, it was corny. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
All right, hey, I'm tired. It's been a long day. Yeah, so this weekend I'm gonna do a little bit of a plug here, not of a plug, a little bit of conversation here. We had BlizzCon this weekend.
Yay.
I mean, no, yay.
Yeah.
You know, normally I'm excited for BlizzCon, and I'm like, you know, I'll buy the virtual ticket and all that fun stuff. But this was the first year I was just kind of like, no.
Well, that's because they didn't offer a mount for virtual tickets.
Well, you know what? In all honesty, yes. Okay, I'll admit they didn't offer me a mount on a virtual ticket, which is one of the reasons why I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I wasn't really all that impressed with like what they were offering, like all the other items.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't all that big into it. But that's just me. I watched some stuff on YouTube while I could, you know. So are there? I guess, you know, I've kind of been talking a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are there any things from BlizzCon you'd like to at least make a mention of or point out, Mike?
Well, hold on here. I have to look at my phone for a moment here.
Oh, hit my mic. Sorry about that.
You're right there, bud.
Oh, yeah.
You sure? Because, like I said, I was looking at my phone trying to get the information I need.
Oh my God! You really had to make that joke, and it went right over my head.
Well, that's
I'm
why I
an
thought you
idiot.
hit your head on purpose.
No, you know what? No. I moved, and then it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Okay, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna talk about this now. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Because one, this is really funny, but then two, this is really, really dumb
And depressing.
Blizzard. Oh my God. Well, yeah. Blizzard, much to everyone's heartbreak here, announced new Diablo game that is strictly on mobile.
They are doing a mobile cash grab.
Yeah. How? So basically, I'm not gonna get the long and short of it. Like, it's just fun. Rising. Yes. They're working in partner with a company called NetEase. I believe it's called NetEase or something like that. It's
Sounds
well,
crooked
just
to
for
me.
sake of conversation. Well, maybe, who knows? I'm not particularly impressed with anything they've ever released. A lot of it's a company that does mobile games, and a lot of their mobile games are basically whatever's hot at the time. You know, so you've got your what is that game called? Dead by Daylight ripoff.
Yeah.
You've got all your Battle Royale ripoff, because those were popular style games for a while. Excuse me there. Not only do they release products that are essentially, like I said, just cash grabs on whatever's big at the time.
Right.
They all look very similar to each other. And then there's a lot, basically any of them that is not the one Battle Royale game that they have, all have a very much of a Diablo feel to it.
Right.
So when, you know,
It's a natural
Blizzard
fit.
came out and was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, they're putting Diablo on mobile. I don't know why. I don't want it. I think it's dumb. I don't want to play Diablo on my phone. You know, if I'm going to play Diablo,
You have
I'd
a phone, right?
Oh, yeah. That's such a great case when you try to make that your argument. When people ask you, hey, why are you putting this on phone? We don't want it on a phone.
Is it April Fool's joke already?
Yeah.
That was a hero.
That gentleman. So, all right, we're probably making a couple of different references here.
Okay, let's overview this dance.
Let's try this. So, all right. In the beginning, there was Diablo, and the people loved the Diablo. Then Diablo 2 came out, and people loved it too. And then it went a very long time since anything came out.
Blizz time.
And eventually, Blizzard released a Diablo 3. And Diablo 3 launched, and it was garbage. It was a hot mess. But
a single player
after
game
some
you have
time,
to log into.
Well, not even just that. There was some other issues outside of just
The auction
being
house.
an issue or being a problem. Yeah, the real world auction house was definitely something. It was
mess.
it was a bit of a hot mess when it first came out, and then they actually, like, Blizzard's, through time, made it into what it is today, which is actually, like, not bad.
Yeah.
And
It's a good game.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I still play it. In fact, I picked it up on the Switch to play it with my little brother. And yeah, basically before BlizzCon was a thing, or not a thing, but before BlizzCon had happened, Blizzard came out and was like, oh, we're working on multiple Diablo products, and you'll hear about them at, BlizzCon, and everyone's all excited. Exactly. Everyone's all excited,
Diablo
thinking
4,
like, oh
Diablo
my
4,
God.
Diablo 2 remake.
Diablo 4 confirmed. Yeah, or hell, even Diablo 2 remake, anything. And Blizzard did try to step in and be like, no, this isn't going to be Diablo 4. That's not ready to be talked about yet or anything.
They're doing a remake. Yay!
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yes, the fan base went a little nuts, like normal Blizzard fan base.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, like, this was something that I don't think anyone expected.
No.
You know how, that saying, save the best for last? Blizzard didn't do that in this particular case.
No,
during the opening ceremony,
be the first thing, so it'd be swept under and out.
Yeah. During the opening ceremony, at the end of the opening ceremony, I'm sorry, there was the Diablo, what's next thing going on here, showcasing whatnot. I don't remember the gentleman's name that came out on stage, the Asian guy, but he was, I'll give him credit, he was a bit of a champ during all of this. He came out and he was, trying to make everyone excited, and you could tell he was probably a little bit nervous because he was messing up his lines more than what I do on a regular day. Or what I just did, because, talking is great for me sometimes. But anyway, yeah, he was a little nervous, it seemed like. He came out, was talking about how, the next Diablo, everybody's got, mobile devices to keep in touch with friends and family, and we're going to put Diablo on mobile. And the crowd was, literally, the crowd was silent. Like, no one was excited or yelling or clapping or anything. Like, they just sat there, and even myself, like, I'm joking about it, but even myself, like, I'm watching it on my phone, and I'm just like,
what?
Oh, God, no, why would you do this? They showcased it. Like I said, it's Blizzard working with this company, NetEase. Like, it looks pretty for a phone game. I'll give you that. But they're putting it on mobile. And
there's going to be a microtransaction store.
I'll get to that in a second. So basically, after all of that stuff, and he, again, still trying to make it, excited and people, trying to sell it to people, and no one's really having it in this crowd.
And they had a Q&A. And one of the first questions is this only going to be on mobile? Can we see this on PC at some point? And the answer was no, which was followed by a boo. And Ron, I don't think
a lot of boos.
I don't think Blizzard ever got boos in a BlizzCon. I mean, they didn't even get as much as they get panned for it. They never get They didn't get boos for showcasing the Pandarians. All right, there was hype for that. So for them to get booed for this, I mean, Blizzard, 90% of your player base, your customers have a PC. Generally, have a good PC because they're probably playing either World of Warcraft or they're playing Overwatch. All right, they're not on their phones.
Yeah.
All right. They have a $2,000 machine. They want to use that $2,000 machine with your product.
Yeah. They're
If this was like, if they said, our fans in Korea, because they're big on mobile games, this is a Korean over version. We'll have a PC version in a month or two. We're porting it over. That's fine. They wouldn't have any boos. But
I don't. There might have still been a few, but honestly, like here's my thought. I think that. Okay, so let's be realistic here. Like, it's going to do well for them.
There's
like
gonna be
it's
people
going
who are
to
going to buy it, and they're going to buy the stuff for it.
Well, that's the thing. They haven't actually said if it's a free to play or if you're purchasing it. But again,
mobile,
I'm going to get to that in a minute here.
Probably going to be free. It's going to be free to play, but you got to do microtransactions.
Well, again, I'm just I'm getting there, buddy.
Okay,
I'm getting there.
Let's see how wrong I am.
There's. Well, no, the thing is I'm pretty much 100% positive you're not wrong.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that this is going to be, a free to download game, and it's going to be littered with microtransactions because that's
Dungeon
the
Keeper
thing.
Mobile.
What's that? Oh my God, yes, Dungeon Keeper. Oh my God. Also, to be fair too, like I have played around with a few other NetEase games before I realized who they were. And that's it's unfortunate, but that's pretty much all of their games. Is there's an MMO style game that they released, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one game that like quite literally somebody has done a side by side of this game running and then what they were showing of Diablo Mobile or Diablo Infinite or whatever the hell it's called.
Immortal, I think it is.
Immortal, yep, Diablo Immortal, running side by side, and it's a copy paste reskin. Like there's nothing difference between one and the other than, hey, that's a barbarian who's in Diablo, or hey, that's a wizard that's in Diablo, or hey, there's a demon hunter, those are in Diablo. There's your difference.
Yeah.
There's like you know what I actually think Nixium said it probably the best when like. Mobile gaming is not it's not the way of the future, right. And it's not like this all great thing that's going to replace console and PC gaming. No. Like, is it going to do well? Yes. Is it going to make you money? Yes. But this isn't something like I'll look at it like this. I think if this gentleman came out on stage and was like, hey, we're making Diablo 4, and like here's an image of it, or like a 10-second trailer of it,
a teaser,
and also a teaser, and also until that comes out, here's a mobile game that you can play until the next Diablo comes out. I actually think it would have gone over significantly better than walking out on stage and saying, hey, that multiple Diablo products that we mentioned, it's it's Diablo 3 on the Switch, and then it's a mobile game. Here you go, have fun. Yeah. I think that was a terrible design, and terrible idea. There was the gentleman that asked if it was a out of season April Fool's joke.
What a champ.
Which, there's that gentleman in his question. There's up for debate on whether or not if it was rude to kind of
I think it
make an ass out of him.
Frustration of the whole crowd. I mean,
I will definitely agree with you there.
People were dumbfounded that this was mobile only. That not like, well, we have a desktop version, but we'll also have a mobile version. You could cross-platform play with your friends. That would be good.
That would be great. That would be great. Right? It's kind of hard to sell a mobile game at a PC convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of other people who have longer videos, and maybe you're not more information on this that you can definitely check out. But I will say this much.
Especially Blizzard's terrible PR control over the weekend about this, which just
it's been
mud in their face. So glad somebody though woke up and say, hey, you're not supposed to treat, they're obviously when the peasants are at the gate, you don't you don't then start pouring the lead on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make them more mad. So, but let's do something. Let's move into a little lighter Blizzard news, and that is the dump of information we got about WoW Classic.
Oh, that is true.
Boy, that my body is ready.
I'm definitely excited for that one myself.
All right.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So if anybody had pre-ordered Blizzard tickets, virtual tickets, they got to do a demo, which is only be for a few days of WoW Classic. And with a ticket of what, $60, you're paying full retail price English, for a demo, which isn't the first time that's ever happened in the gaming world, but it's still. I don't know about you, Ron, but I figured I'll just watch Twitch streams and YouTubes, and just wait
until
for the proper
it's actually
game.
out.
So what we've seen so far is that it's all the old models. It's not post Warlord of Draenor models, which I mean they're nice, but I don't think it would fit in this setting. Although they do have like a graphics toggle so that you can see the world as it was before the view distance was expanded as such, or you can have the extra foliage in the view distance, and that's completely optional. There is going to be bottle.net support. Which only the most hardcore people are complaining about. And then you have right-click reporting for cheaters. And of course, there's also the colorblind support. Again, nothing that I would cry about. But unfortunately, the No Change crowd have been up in arms about such things, especially the Battle.net support, because apparently, if you're on Horde and I'm on Alliance, we're generally not supposed to be able to talk to each other when we log in, yet with Battle.net, we can't. That's a no-no, apparently.
Yeah.
So they're up in arms about that. But what I've seen so far from the streams of stuff, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to get in and sneak and dig my teeth into the old talent system once more, and to build my unplayable hybrid Shadow Priest healer that I did back in the day.
So I'm definitely interested in it. I'm definitely
so
wouldn't mind going back and reliving those frustrating days.
So they're saying sometime mid next year, spring summer-ish, which to me is telling me that's probably more like winter 2020, considering Blizzard's time frame here. But what I was actually surprised, because I figured it'd be a separate subscription of some sort, but if you have a WoW subscription, you get Classic automatically, which I think is probably the smartest thing they've done. I mean, I was expecting like a separate subscription, but if you get like retail WoW, it's just another $5 or more. Otherwise, for $15, you can get just Classic if you want to do that. I expected something like that because they have to pay for the servers. You got to pay for the people working on it, and I completely understand that. It would very unlikely ever be free completely. But to be tied into retail, I mean, for the people who are just wanting Classic, that shouldn't be a big deal, because if you don't want to play the retail, then don't buy the expansion packs. There's $60 every 2 years in your pocket. So they're able to do this because it's all Classic is just running on the same servers running on retail. So there's not much maintenance that they ever have to do between the two. So going forward, it's just a matter of, do they just leave it like a static world where it's okay, this is it, there's nothing we're going to do, or are they going to do some weird, like, it's a time fork and they're going to add like some, hey, here's some dungeons we had on the drawing board back in the day we didn't release. We're going to release them to you because you guys are awesome. And I mean,
we'll have to wait and see on that one.
I mean, see what they're going to do. Are they going to roll out dungeons over time? I think some people are saying yes, but I think they're reading too much into what they're seeing on the demo and the screenshots. I think it's wasted. I think it's really going to be, everything's going to be released and as is, and that's it. But I could be wrong. And regardless, it doesn't bother me one way if like Onyxia is open on day one, or
takes a month or two to come out.
Are they going to do this, or if they're going to do rolling? I mean, how are they going to do it? I mean, because at some point you need to reset again, right? So is it like through the year? So like AQ is going to be open up in December. you know, and then in New Year's, it all goes back to like you can't even get into oh geez, what's that big one? It's like a night elf one in the forest in Collindor. Oh, dang, what's the name of that one? It's like almost like a stadium coliseum, and there's different wings. It's huge.
I'm drawing a blank on that one, buddy.
No, I can't remember it. And I know someone who's listening is screaming the name on the top of their lungs, and I can't hear you.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know,
I mean,
are certain things going to be rolled out over time? I don't know. So we'll see. Right now, it's only a demo. It's there's no PvPing other than, you know, dueling. Horde get to have a bigger world. They get to play with. They get the whole barons, the old barons, the big barons, and the Alliance get to play in Westfall. So it's you know, pick your favorite shade of brown.
Pretty much.
So
pretty much.
But all the races that are and all the classes are available to play if you happen to have the demo. If not, like I said, you know, we're saving our money. We're waiting for the actual game. We're gonna just watch Twitch streamers play crappy, god awful techno music, and not the awesome sweet sounds of Baron's soundtrack.
Yeah.
That little French horn or whatever playing in the background.
Yeah. One of the other cool little things that they did announce was the remake of Warcraft 3. Basically, they're redoing the whole thing. They're updating all the character models. By the looks of it, they're updating all of the CG, all the cutscenes. It's just basic. It's Warcraft 3, but it's made to be pretty, which I'm really okay
now,
with.
is it just
gives me another reason.
Reign of Chaos, or is it going to be Frozen Throne in there as well?
I have not seen anything on Frozen Throne. I believe it's just going to be Reign. I imagine they're probably going to do Frozen Throne as well, but right now,
so I would think
they're
it'll
just
be
showing
one
Reign
package
of Chaos
at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they could be doing them both. I haven't seen anything on Frozen Throne, just Reign of Chaos.
Yeah, they got the demo where the culling of Strathholm, which was
probably one of the most iconic scenes in that whole game.
Yeah, we must save the world by killing our people.
Pretty much. So I mean, there was that. Yeah. There was that. They also announced the new Hearthstone expansion, which was, I forgot. It's troll oriented and, oh my god, I feel like a dummy that I can't remember the name of the expansion. I'm just, I'm going to look it up here. Well, yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much what I expected.
More cards.
Pretty much.
Unless they have some new crazy mechanic.
I think it's overpower is okay. Rastakhan's Rumble. That's it. I couldn't remember the name of the gentleman. That's what it is. It is all troll and Loath themed. At least the one new mechanic they showed was overpower, which is just basically if you deal damage to a minion and kill it, and that you deal damage more than what its health is, you get to attack again. Oh. Well, at least on the weapon that it was that they showed, that's what it was.
I was gonna say it sounds almost like Trample from Magic.
Kind of. You know, if Double Strike. Look at it that way.
That works better.
Think of it like Double Strike, except for it only activates if you kill a minion with more damage than what its health is. So it was a cool little mechanic there. I haven't really seen too much on it. I actually have to go back and look at videos and see what they actually have to say about it, if they showed anything more about it. But that's coming out on December 4th, so in a month it's coming out, which is cool. If you're a Hearthstone fan, I am, so I'll keep an ear out for it. Really, they announced a new hero for Overwatch, Anna, a Westerner Oh my God. Let me try this again in English. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry. It's she is a very much a female McCree is the best way to word it. And she has her alt basically calls in her robot butler to body slam and beat the hell out of the other players, which could probably be and will probably be completely overpowered, but it looks fun, so I'm going to try it out. And then the other real big announcement, I guess would be a big announcement, is for Heroes of the Storm. They actually announced their first original character for that series, which I think is cool. I do not remember the character's name, though. That is eluding me. But I will say this much, that I thought it was a very interesting design. They actually did a little showcase on the character, and all of her abilities were absolutely gorgeous. So I'll definitely check that one out, because I do enjoy playing Heroes of the Storm. That was the one thing that sucked, is if you bought the virtual ticket, you got her for free. And I didn't know that until they were like, yeah, hey, if you got the virtual ticket or if you're here, you get her for free. And I'm just like, God damn it. You know, the one thing I would have liked to have had, I couldn't get it unless I want to buy it, which I have gold saved up, so I'll just use that. Anyway, there was something for StarCraft, I think, maybe. I don't know. I like the games, but I believe they were really only going over, like...
balance tweaks,
the esports maybe, but no, I'm sorry, they announced I'm a dummy. They, at least I can remember, they announced a new co-op lead, or a co-op character that you can play as. What they call him in the game eludes me at the moment, but yeah, so there's that. And the long and short of it is BlizzCon was a little underwhelming for most of what they had. They did some WoW stuff that was cool, Classic that was cool. Hearthstone, if you're a fan, same goes for Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm.
How about that World of Warcraft 8.1 trailer?
Oh, they're cinematic.
Actually, there's two of them.
Yeah, that was cool.
There was the high quality Anduin. And then there was the one with the Night Elves, which I just saw this morning, which was for me.
Yeah, they actually made Malfurion like kind of cool. Kind of. I mean, it's still. It's not done yet, so we'll see how that goes. He ripped
apart a Blood Elf.
We don't see it happen.
We know it happens. I mean, if I just look off the side of the scrreen, exactly what happened.
You don't see it, so I mean, Tyrande could have just been there doing it for alive. Again, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's still a badass.
Tyrande, though, especially from Warcraft 3, was a total badass.
Yeah, she was.
So I'm hoping they bring a Warcraft 3 version of Tyrande for the 8.1.
What's that?
I'm hoping Tyrande becomes like her Warcraft 3 badass in the 8.1 expansion.
They are alluding to. I think they're alluding to that.
Because there's been a few times where it was about to happen for her, but then they've always kind of dropped her as a character. And so I'm hoping now that they actually use her for what she's really good at, and that's kicking ass. So let's see.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what they do with these characters. I'm definitely interested in seeing how they do it for the story on there.
But they also are talking about probably the first time in World of Warcraft history, Horde players get to have a bit of player agency in their story, where they get to choose. And it's actually going to have an impact on the character.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. I mean, they're promising that it's actually going to have a real impact. For right now, it doesn't, but we don't know what's going to happen in 8.2, 8.3 at the end of the expansion pack. But you could, basically you could choose to rat out Saurfang or not. And that apparently will have ramifications.
Possibly. I honestly, I think it's just going to end up being the route where it's...
I'm sure the outcome's going to be the same, but I wonder...
The outcome's going to be the same. It's just that you're going to get a different road to the end.
Right.
Or
which is fine.
If you will. I can deal with that, yeah.
I mean, it incentivizes you to play multiple characters. So, like, your undead character would definitely want to rat out Saurfang to Sylvanas because she is the Banshee Queen for you, right? She is everything to you. but your orc warlock may not want to.
Yeah.
He's looking for the glory days
So-
of the Horde, and he's fighting it in Sarafag.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully that goes. I would honestly like to see it go that route. I'm going to be as optimistic about it as I can.
But we're pretty much convinced now. I know I am, but I'm sure you are as well. But that's Sylvanas is essentially the next Garrosh.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about this, but I will say that if you have the time, there's a little Q&A with a special guest you need to go listen to. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, is that what's his name who voices Thrall?
Yeah, Chris Metzen.
Yeah, I heard they might
Chris
be coming
Metzen,
back.
he did one.
At least
Yeah,
there's some voices.
they kind of alluded towards that. So fingers crossed, we'll see. But I mean, I liked Green Jesus because Horde.
Well, it's Thrall unless you're Belial, then it's Thrall.
Yes.
I'm sorry, look, Belial, I love you, but you're not saying it right, and I'm an Alliance player, okay? And no, it's Thrall.
Well,
sorry.
Let's try not to get him mad so he doesn't come after us.
He might plug us. No such thing
well,
as
nonetheless,
any news is good news.
Yeah. But that looks like all we have in store for you guys today. As always, I definitely want to give a thank you to everyone who listens. If always possible, like, comment, subscribe. You can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and on YouTube as we get the chance to actually get them onto YouTube, because that's a little bit of a headache.
Well, I'm catching up. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you're catching up, but also, I mean, YouTube itself doesn't necessarily always make it the easiest.
No.
But
takes
nonetheless,
about 2-3 hours to upload a video, so I have to time it right.
Yeah. So any questions, comments, or concerns, by all means, you can contact us, beardedgamemasters@gmail.com. And yes, again, thank you for listening. Take care.
Bye-bye.